Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be talking about the Division 2, which is something I haven't really done too much on this channel, but as you guys have known from a couple videos in the past, you'll know that I have kind of a sweet spot for the Division, and I really enjoyed the Division 2. I think this was a really good time to jump back into the game because there's been like another big update, not quite like the big one for the Division 1, which kind of redid all of the things. This one, more geared towards, no pun intended, gear and loot. Doing this with the new expansion coming out was a pretty cool thing to do because not only do you get all those changes and want to jump back into the game after it's been a while, there's been some things added. You can also buy the new expansion if you really want more Division 2 content in the form of like a new play space. And this will be coming from somebody who really enjoyed the base game and just wants to talk more Division and really enjoyed their time with this expansion, and hopefully I can get it across in this video that kind of main things, the setting, the gameplay, kind of my general thoughts, and give you a good impression of what I think of the game. You can make a decision on whether or not it's something you want to move forward with or just stick with the base game. Warlords New York actually takes place in New York. For the Division 2, that's quite a change. I really enjoyed New York in the first game. DC was really cool. I've been there a couple times myself, and I've seen the monuments, I've seen the museums, and being a history major, that is something I really dug when I went there. So it was cool to see some of those places in a video game, kind of play through them and see something like the Capitol building. But New York was just, it was a really cool setting, and there's just so much in New York. There's so many places you can go. I don't know what it was, just going through the city, seeing all just the rubble and things with that snow was really cool. So in this game, to see it in, springtime when stuff is starting to grow, kind of like I Am Legend type vibes, it's just really cool. I think the devs did like an awesome job just kind of adjusting for the Division 2 in New York, and this specifically takes place in Lower Manhattan. Now the map size is a lot smaller than Division 1's New York. I mean, it would be pretty crazy if they put the entire map in the game. I think in terms of the story that you're going to be playing through, it makes perfect sense that it's this size, because if it was too big, then you'd be running all over the place. It would kind of be like another game, but then at the same time, they'd probably want to charge more money because this is only a $30 expansion. On top of the setting and the story, you're going to have all those kind of collectible things that you could do in the base game, as well as just little side missions and things like that you could pick up and kind of fill out the story a little bit more. It's definitely not as long as the base game in Division 2, but you could spend a pretty solid 6, maybe even 7 hours just kind of doing all of the things. One of the things that I think the Division 2 does really well is that it makes you want to replay things, to go back, do it again at a harder difficulty, get some better loot. The loot game in itself has been expanded since the launch of the Division 2 because of this update that launched with the expansion. The expansion is paid, but the update is free, and it just so happens that they came out on the same day. But there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of changes to kind of their legendary and kind of gold tier weapons as far as the exotics go. I haven't even got to those when I've been playing. That's actually a good segue into the next segment. The setting for the Division 2 Warlords in New York is pretty cool. I don't know of a ton of games like this that, are like this. I mean, Division 2 is a tactical shooter, it's an RPG, there's a loot game in there, so there's some Destiny things in there, there's some Diablo things in there, but it's really just kind of all of these different things together, and then throw the Tom Clancy license in there, and you got yourself a kind of tactical shooter, RPG, looter shooter type game. If you didn't like that in the Division 1, you played the Division 2 and you saw those changes and you still didn't really kind of like that gameplay, it's not going to be that much different in this expansion. And that's a good way to think about this expansion in general. If you didn't like the Division 2 base game, this isn't going to just magically make you like the Division 2. But if you do, you're really going to you're going to like this as just an extension of what you played in the Division 2. There are some different things here and there. You actually kind of go through, you basically hunt down all of Aaron Keener's lackeys and you get new skills by defeating them, and you'll get a skill for each one that you defeat, and they all kind of change up gameplay enough to where it adds to that replayability of the missions as well as the gear and loot. There's some cool things in there. There's a cool twist on the sticky bomb, which I think looks really cool, as well as is kind of fun to use. Outside of that, there's nothing too crazy that the Warlords of New York expansion does, but there are some other kind of quality of life things too that are changed. If you have like a god roll weapon or gear, then you'll know that you have it. You actually see a bar that'll actually tell you whether or not you have a really good roll on your weapons and gear, so that is something that you can look forward to in this kind of update that came out at the same time. Now, does that change up the gameplay at all? Not really. I mean, if you like the kind of moment-to-moment gameplay of this game already, that is totally here in this expansion, and you're gonna get it. If you are more kind of turned off by the builds in the game and building your character, min-maxing, that sort of thing, yeah, that's definitely improved with this expansion, but that is a free update that actually came out with the Division 2 in general, so you wouldn't have to buy this just to get that. So to close this part out, you'll see the gameplay does change in terms of the environments that you're going to be fighting in, but is largely the same as the base game. So let's answer the $30 question. Is it worth getting Warlords of New York if you like the Division 2? Yeah, it totally is. I mean, you're extending the game, you're getting a little slice of the first game, which I think was an awesome area, and I'm glad to be coming back to it. I really like the way they're weaving in the story of the base game into this game because it's all connected. And I like the fact that you're kind of hunting down Aaron Keener and his rogue friends to get some new skills, and changes up the gameplay in a way. It isn't drastically different from the Division 2, but it is kind of a fresh way to add to the game rather than just say like, hey, here's some new missions, go do them, because you actually kind of have a goal in mind for each one. And I think this video is hopefully going to be helpful to some people who want to buy the game and just kind of want to see what it's all about. So I know this is a little bit different than what I normally do on the channel with the guise of me playing Fallout 4 and Skyrim and making mod videos. Hopefully this is a good look into like what other stuff I play and what kind of stuff I like, and then kind of add that same how-to, like here's what it's all about mentality of those videos, and then put it into something like this. So hopefully you all enjoyed, and until next time, I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.